All right, brother, let's do it.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.
Everything I do so instinctive and so passionate. Every word I move so descriptive like an adjective. I got a vendetta against people who patented being negative when you should be getting after it. I got facts over tracks, this and that. Spitting slow, spitting fast. I could roast, I could gas. Think I'm okay at last, but I don't know if that can erase all the past. And the pettiness, a reflection of the emptiness. Hilarious, you think you're worth my time, you're delirious. Mysterious, because you hide behind a fake exterior. Inferior, you know I'll always be a bit superior. Get off of me, this ain't no humble brag. I want you to hear words, you can say them back. I want you to feel free from the chains at last, and to believe in what you got, it was built to last, yeah.
Now that I've been put through hell, I never got anyone's help. I had to do it all myself.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.
Gonna learn the consequence of being incompetent. Mental health is confidence, dreams and some honestness. I'm not here to save the day, that's for you to take away. I could play a million mind games, but instead I say something not illogical, something that is topical. Rub it on and watch it go, make yourself unstoppable. Dreams are irresponsible, but they're always possible. If you just believe, you could be so remarkable.
Thoughts in my head, a collage and they spread. I'll be great one day, going off of my meds. No, I'm not giving up, no, I'm not giving in. I will make it to the top, taking off in the wind. I gotta make it, I'm saving every day to taste it. I'm patient, but my mind, it can hardly take it. I'm chasing a dream that I've had for several ages. A vacant, modern kingdom for the taking.
Now that I've been put through hell, I never got anyone's.
Fingers all pumping, quick to the point, no faking. Cooking MC like a pound of bacon. Ooh. Wow. Thank you. Man. Thank you so much, bro. Wow. I signed my first album ever, my first signature ever, to B.B. King.
Wow.
After that moment, I stopped worrying about trying to get a record deal. And whatever the Lord does, whatever Jesus brings me, that's what I'll take, however it goes. And that's where I'm at still to this day. You're a blessing, and hopefully I'm a blessing to you.
All right, so that was Vanilla Ice, right?
That was Vanilla Ice. You called it.
What made you want to pick that one out of all your repertoire?
Well, you know, it was a thing where, actually, to be honest, I was learning the guitar at the time. I was trying to learn how to play guitar, and I was in my early 20s, and which is when my music career actually started. I was in my early 20s, and I started picking around on some things, and I learned those chords, G, D, E minor, and C. And I said, what could I do with this? I'm just playing around, and I played 2 different songs because I was big into hip-hop back in the 90s, you know, when I was a young boy.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, by looking at me, you wouldn't think that. But so I was just picking around, and the first one was actually not that. First one was Nothing But a G Thing. You ever heard that?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah, so it was more of a picking thing. So it was like 1, 2, 3 into the 4. Snoop Doggy Dogg and Dr. Dre is at the door, ready to make an entrance. So back on up, you know we're about to wrap this up. Yeah. Could you imagine that sounding like that?
No.
Right, it's crazy. So I started with that one, but then I did the Ice Ice Baby, and I thought, it's been several weeks since I released a song, because I had one viral video that really launched my career in music, and it was a parody of a Beard song called All About That Bass, but I called it All About That Beard.
Yeah.
And I parodied it, and it got like 2 million views in a day, and I thought, wow, I need to be consistent now, because maybe God put me on this path to do it. And so I actually told the Lord, I said, if you want me to do this, honor the effort I put forth, and I'll keep doing it. So I was doing that, and then it was a span about 2 weeks.
This episode of Digital Social Hour is brought to you by BetterHelp. How do you keep cozy during the holiday season? My favorite way is wrapping up in a blanket and watching Christmas movies with my family and 2 dogs, Milo and Otis. The holidays can be tough on people, and seasonal depression is no joke. Therapy is a great way to bring yourself some comfort that lasts even when the seasons change. It's also a great way to learn more about yourself and understand any big feelings you may experience. You deserve to be the happiest version of yourself, and BetterHelp is here to assist you. BetterHelp's also conveniently all online and ready to work with your schedule. Just complete a brief questionnaire to match you with a licensed therapist today, and enjoy the freedom to switch therapists anytime you'd like in case you don't like the therapist assigned to you for no additional charge. Find peace and comfort this December with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/DSH today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/DSH.
Weeks that I hadn't posted a video. And so then I took this Ice Ice Baby thing and that I'd worked on in the past, and I said, well, it was about 3 o'clock in the morning, and I posted it at about 3 o'clock in the morning. And even the description, the original description said, y'all probably won't like this. This is an old song. It's not relative at all now, but this is a way I've been messing around with Ice Ice Baby. If you don't like it, just wait, I'll post another one. I'm sorry I've been absent, right? And I posted that video, and then it literally, and I know it sounds cliche, but overnight that thing got millions and millions of views. It got posted on World Star Hip Hop. It got posted on Bam Margera's website, his Facebook. All kinds of crazy, big-time people just took this video and posted it, shared my post, and it's today, accumulatively, that video alone, across all social media platforms, you're talking 200 plus million views.
Wow.
On just that one song.
Crazy.
It's got legs, man. And so the crazy part is that here's the wild part about when you go and you say, I'm going to do what Jesus put me here to do, he will honor that effort. So here's what happened. I posted that. I had all these people messaging me. I ran a tow truck at the time for my dad in Memphis, Tennessee. And so I wasn't thinking about, who's got my number or what. So when these people would message me and they would say, hey, Vanilla Ice is my best friend, right? I'm going to send him that song. Everybody was hearing it,
Did you know him before you made the song?
Did I know Vanilla Ice?
Yeah.
No. That's what I'm about to show you how I got to know him in this story. His so-called friends, right? These people said they were his best friends. There were several of them, and they said, give me your number and I'll give it to him. And I said, what I got to lose, my number's a tow truck number anyway. So I said, I'll send him my number, and maybe at the very least I get a tow out of it. So I sent all these people my number. Said, hey, if you know him, send it to him. I'd love to talk to him. I'm a big fan. And so about 2 months after this video posted, I get a call, and I answer it just like always, and I say, Glenn Ray's towing. And it's this voice, and he goes, hey, Marty Ray, just like that. And I go, hey, how you doing? How can we help you? And he goes, what's up, man? It's Rob. And I said, how you doing, Rob? How can I help you? I didn't know that his name was Rob. And so he said, it's Vanilla Ice. And I said, oh, okay, sure. You don't believe that Vanilla Ice is calling some old country boy like me. Why would this be happening? And so then he says, I want to bring you out to we're doing this I Love the 90s tour in Miami. We're starting at the first show. I want to bring you out to play with me at the end of the show. I said, okay, man. Hey, if I see the email, I'll believe it. And sure enough, I got the email. I went to Miami. It was my second show ever that I ever done in my life. I'd done one show, and there was about 100 people there. And I went from that one show to the second show. Remember I told you, I told God, honor the effort. I went from one show playing for 100 people to the second show playing for 40,000.
Holy crap.
Dead serious and terrified.
Yeah, I bet.
Absolutely terrified. So that's how, and then Vanilla Ice and I became friends after that. He took a liking to me, and I sure like him. Rob and I are friends still to this day. And I've done several shows with him now.
Nice.
I actually brought him into Clubhouse. Remember when Clubhouse was up there?
Yeah, that was popping.
Yeah. I brought him into Clubhouse. We did a room there and had thousands of people in there. It was really cool.
Oh, yeah.
So,
What's the biggest lesson you've learned from Vanilla Ice?
The biggest lesson is that dude he is really positive. This dude is it's hard that you never see him not smile. I've never seen him not smiling. Now he might have times, I'm sure he does, where he don't smile, but if somebody's watching him, he's always smiling. So it's as if he's figured out, and he actually sent a happy graduations, congratulations to my daughter when she graduated recently. And some of the advice that he gave her was, he said, always remember to pursue happiness, the pursuit of happiness. And he was quoting that, of course, from, the Constitution. Yeah. And I said, man, he's really done that. He's really pursued happiness. If nothing else, he is pursuing happiness. So I would think that would be his stance on life. Yeah. He always says, get in where you fit in. So whatever he means by that, I don't really know, but it sounds cool.
Absolutely.
I think it has to do with happiness. You know what I mean?
Every time I see him on television, he's smiling.
Smiling. Look at his Instagram post. He's just happy. He seems like a really happy dude. He had some times in his life, though, where he was not happy. He was on a show called Surreal Life and stuff like that, and it seemed like he wasn't happy. But I didn't know him back then. It could have been all show. I don't know. But he's just a happy dude. So I like that about him. I like that he's figured out how to find joy in things.
No, that is admirable because of what the music industry, how they kind of kicked him out, and he still is positive. That's really cool to see.
The music industry will chew you up and spit you out. Yeah. You mean nothing to them. Rick Barker will probably tell you that.
You're just a number to them, right?
That's it. That's all you are, man. If you ain't performing, it used to be in the music industry, they would have development deals, and they would bring you in and they would put money behind you, develop you and things like that, and they would believe in you or not believe in you. And then if you had a chance to prove yourself after they felt like you were ready, and those times were good and bad for some artists, but for some of them, at least they had the chance to get a chance to be developed. You know what I mean? And they don't have that anymore. It's if you got a train going, like I have probably collectively, I don't know, maybe 1.5 million fans across all platforms. Yeah. Not in any one place though. So maybe I could go to a record label and say, hey, here's what I've done. Here's some numbers. Will you help me now go further? And they probably would. I don't know, but maybe not. But if they that seems like the kind of MO that they have. You get something going, let us jump on board. Right. And it's not let us help you get something going. That's over, it seems like.
It seems like more artists are going independent these days.
That's what I've been from the start. Well, not from the start. I mean, I've been that from the start, but that wasn't my intention from the start. I thought that giving I took the last bit of money I had in the bank and I went and made an EP. And I had this EP, and I had the honor and the gift to be able to go to certain shows. And I was actually, and when anytime you get an idea, there's a spark there, and you're gung ho, you're going after it, and you go, this is it. The Lord put me on this path, and I'm going after it. But then you want quick success, so you want it to go quickly and up, and never see a valley. But sometimes you have to go up, and then you got to be humbled to get through the valley. You don't even build faith unless you go into the valley. There's no faith built on the top of a mountain because all you know is good. You don't build faith to believe in the good if you've only experienced the good. Right. It's kind of like the tree in the garden. Why was it there? So if there was no choice of evil, then there was only good. There's no choice at all. So it was like that's how it was in my career. But when I first started, it was like I had this drive, and I had this album, and I was going to all these different shows of these famous artists like B.B. King and Charlie Daniels and all these people, these legends. And I thought by handing them this CD, one of them would listen, and then I would get a record deal and the whole rigmarole, the whole thing. And one time, I was giving up really. I was done. I told the Lord, I said, I guess it ain't meant to be because I put forth effort. And I'm trying to hand this album out. And this was before the Vanilla Ice song. And I said, I'm handing this album out. Nobody cares about it. And then I went to the last show I was going to was a B.B. King concert, one of his last shows. And I was on the front row because I knew the guy that booked entertainment. And I was sitting there on the front row. And B.B. King's out there. He's old at this point. He's in a wheelchair. So they rolled him out and put him in a chair. And he's playing. And as he's playing, I'm just sitting there, just vibing the whole time. You ever listen to B.B. King?
No.
Oh man, you got to pull up B.B. King. Get when you leave here, just on the way home, just put some in. And so I'm sitting there vibing and just enjoying this time, really. And so he stops the show. He's sitting there and he goes, everybody hang on. Everybody hold on. They got a trumpet section. He's got all these things. And everybody just stops because he's the boss. And then he goes, points right at me and he goes, as long as that man right there is having a good time, so am I. And I was going, what in the world? Why is he pointing at me, you know? And so all these people, they think I know B.B. King. They think I'm famous and, hey, how do you know B.B.? I'm like, I don't know him any different than you do. I'm just a fan. And so like I said, at this time, I'm giving up on music. So it was like God's going, no, you ain't giving up. I'm gonna use kings to exalt you, to keep you going. Because Proverbs says a man's gift makes room for him and brings him before great men. And so I live by that scripture. That's my life. And I was sitting on that front row, and when he stopped the show for no other reason than just to say that, I go, wow, you must want me to keep going. And so then afterwards, this is crazy. After that, I get a chance to I get a chance to meet him. Neil, the guy who booked him, he's taking us backstage, and they're leading us backstage with a flashlight that's down like this right here, and it's the side of the stage, and there's security guards, they're all standing there like this to keep us from going onto the stage. Mm-hmm. Now, I don't know why they're doing that. I just figured because it's dark, you can't hardly see. So I'm the only white boy going back. It's because it's all his family. It's all BB's family. And so I'm not even supposed to be back there. So I was at the back of the line of like 50 people, and I'm in the back of the line. I got my Martin guitar, and I'm holding it, and I'm watching. But before I even get back there, they're leading us, and there's these security guards. And as I'm going back, as I'm walking by, this hand comes out between these security guards and grabs my hand and starts pulling me towards the security guards. And I'm doing like this, and they're going, what are you doing? You got to move on. I said, somebody's got a hold of my hand. And they do this, and they part, and it's B.B. King. Wow. And he's holding my hand. He's sitting in a wheelchair behind the security guards. And he goes like this, and he goes, son, I want you to know I enjoyed playing for you tonight. And I go, Mr. King, I love you, man. I love you. He goes, I love you too, son. He said, I'll see you back there, like that right there. And I go, and I had an album, a B.B. King album, and a picture of B.B. King. And he signed both of those. And I had my guitar. He didn't sign it right there. I didn't even know if he was going to. So I'm waiting in this line now in the back, right by the green room. It was as if B.B. King himself, the king of blues, waited for me to walk by there when he saw that I was going to come through there. Imagine that. Wow. Is that wild or what?
Crazy.
That's insane. Why would that happen? So then I'm sitting in the line. I'm watching as his people are turning all the family members away with their guitars. They got guitars, and they're being turned away. He won't sign them because he was contractually obligated to only sign Gibson guitars. So I'm watching them go away, and I'm saying, he's never going to sign a Martin then. That's like one of their number one competitors, like in acoustic guitars. So I'm thinking I ain't going to get this signed. And at the very end of it, like I'm watching him, and his energy's just real low, and he's gone through all these people. And then I come in. As soon as I come in, he goes, hey, my friend, like that, just lights up as if he didn't have a worry in the world. And I come in there, and I'm almost in tears. I don't understand what's going on, other than it's a divine appointment. It's divine from the Lord. It's the only explanation. Wow. I walk up to him, I hand him my Martin guitar, and he looks up at the head of it, and he looks up at me, and he goes, I'm going to sign it anyway. And he goes, hand me that Sharpie. And he signs B.B. King, and he hands the guitar back to me. He hands the Sharpie off, and we're about to take a picture. But before we do that, I got that album. This is crazy. I hand him my album, and he goes, my. I knew that. That's what he said. Now, he had no way of knowing this. I had no fans at all, not one fan. And so he goes, I knew that. He said, who's got that Sharpie? And I said, no, Mr. King, that's for you. I want you. He said, I know who this is for. I said, oh, okay. And so they brought the Sharpie back. And when he brought that Sharpie back, he goes, I want you to sign this to Mr. B.B. King. I signed my first album ever, my first signature ever, to B.B. King. Wow. And I handed it back to him, and I knelt down beside him, and that picture's still on my wall today. Holy and I held that album, and he held it up too. And then they took a picture of me and B.B. King, and I got that picture, and I got the picture that he signed and the album framed in my office.
Wow.
Is that crazy or what?
That's nuts. Part of him lives inside you, man.
Dude.
Sounds like it, right?
That story keeps me going. But that all started from you asking You got to rein me in because I can be long-winded. You know what you're getting into. No, that was from the question independent. So after that moment, I stopped worrying about trying to get a record deal. I said, I'll just go about it, and whatever the Lord does, whatever Jesus brings me, that's what I'll take, however it goes. And that's where I'm at still to this day. This being on here, this is amazing, right? Mm-hmm. To be on your show is an amazing gift. That's from him. That's a blessing from him. Mm-hmm. You're a blessing, and hopefully I'm a blessing to you in some way. So that all these things like this happen, and it just continues. It's his way to continue to honor my little bit of effort.
Wow.
That's the truth.
Yeah, you've been at this for a while, man. A lot of people would have given up in your shoes.
Yeah, man. You can't give up when you're on a mission. Mm. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you really look at it as a calling, you can't give up on that because that's your purpose. If it's your purpose, then there's no giving up. There's no plan B.
Right.
You might do other things to supplement the plan A, like I do. I do other things now, but I didn't always, but I do now. I just started doing other things, but you might do other things to supplement, but that calling always stays true. You never give up on that. You'll die going after that calling because it's not really for you, it's for other people. You see, here's the deal. This is the truth. People don't realize this. Everybody in this world would have a better life if they realized one thing. Jesus said when he gave his life on the cross, he said, love others as I have loved you. And that love, if you trace it back to the root meaning, it means breathe for. One of the meanings is breathe for. Imagine that if he said, breathe for others as I have breathed for you. That means you don't get breath for yourself. You're only breathing for everybody around you.
Wow.
I'm breathing for you, you're breathing for me, and we're breathing for all of them. So seeing that takes the selfishness right out of it.
Yeah.
Because every breath you breathe is for somebody else.
Wow.
And when you take the selfishness out of it, your purpose is great. Let's see. Again, I can go forever. So you if you got another question, maybe
good,
you
man.
should just ask
this
me.
This is important.
Because I can just talk, man.
No, it's important. I talk a lot on the show about purpose. So
yeah,
a lot of people struggle to find it.
You know what? You know why people struggle with purpose? Because science, NASA, all these entities, whatever, whether good or bad, they tell the world that they are in an ever-expanding universe, and if they die, there's not much importance. Nothing really happens.
Right.
No big deal. We're on the animals' planets or whatever. But that's not true. See, God said the opposite of that. He said, I built all of this. I made all of this creation, and then I put you here. You are the most prized creation. You are the most treasured thing, and I made you in my image. All of this is for you. All of it. So then when you die, it is greatly important to heaven. It's of great importance and sorrow to them. If you die and it cuts off that purpose, it's a sorrow for heaven. And he doesn't look at it the same way as whoever it is, science or NASA, whoever it is that says those things about it doesn't really matter, because they're trying to see the enemy's job is to take value and purpose out of people, to make them think they have no value. When we are the most valuable thing here, humans are the most valuable thing here, and we are under attack actually from certain groups and sects saying that we are the problem here. When this whole planet, this whole earth is for us. That's the difference that's really the difference in living for the Lord and not living for the Lord. Because you realize that my purpose, you put me here, you knew me fearfully and wonderfully, you made me. Before I was formed in my mother's womb, you knew me, and you have a purpose for me, and I'm going to live that purpose. You never lose sight of it if you believe that. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's deep.
But so many people have lost sight because they don't believe that. They've been trained, some people have been trained up to believe in that, but then they're trained out of that through college and intellects. And the Bible even says, it says, there are many wise people and they are forever learning and never coming to the knowledge of the truth. Think about that. They're super smart people and they still don't know the truth.
Crazy, right?
It's wild, dude.
They can study all day, but they'll never know.
They'll never know it. Well, because they can't, because they won't humble themselves to say, I can't understand you, God. I can't fully understand you. If I could grasp you, then you wouldn't be God. If I could say, okay, I figured him out, then he lives outside of space and time. We try to put him in time sometimes, but he created it. The creator of space and time can't live within it. He has to live outside of it. So then we go, now I got to figure out exactly when you are going to do this, when you want this, and how you did this. What was the beginning? What was the end? And he goes, I have no beginning. I am everlasting. See, humans have a problem with that. Even Christians, they have a problem with that. And that's a tough thing to grasp. But if you can humble yourself and go, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with knowing the hope in me is that I know that the God of all creation, that he gave his life for me, that he robed himself in flesh and he came down here, and his name is Jesus. And I thank him for doing it. What an honor to know that he did that for me, that he loved me that much. That is the greatest purpose of this world. And if people could really realize that, this whole thing where you say you talk about purpose a lot because people lack it, if they could just study a little bit, if they could just humble themselves a little bit, they would find real true purpose that is everlasting purpose. It never leaves you.
Yeah.
It never leaves you.
There's always that battle with science and religion, right?
There is, but in reality, there's a guy named John Lennox, so smart, such a smart man, and he talks about science and religion, and most scientists try to take God out of religion, but the greatest scientists that they all are inspired by, like Isaac Newton, he didn't discover the law of gravity and say, oh wow, the law of gravity, now I don't need God. He said, oh wow, the law of gravity, this is how he did it. That's what Isaac Newton says in his book Mathematica. He talks about God. He's not against God. He's trying to figure out how God did these things. And I think God's okay with that. I think he's fine with you. I think he left trails here for us to figure out, to prove his existence. So science, while today seems like the mortal enemy of God, it's because a religion of science has begun. But the actual study of science is not really an enemy. It's an adversary. I mean, it's an ally of God.
Was there a specific moment in your life that made you go all in on God?
I was actually born into Christianity, but that doesn't mean that you're gonna stay the course. A lot of people were born into Christianity, and I was born in an apostolic Pentecostal church, and I'm still in one.
Wow.
And you know what that is?
No. Is it a specific branch?
There's many denominations, but we know, like, the thing with us is that we believe in Acts 2:38 to the T, like the message of Acts 2:38, the plan of salvation. And it is, Peter said unto them, repent, every one of you, and be baptized in the name of Jesus Christ for the remission of your sins, and you shall receive the gift of the Holy Ghost. We believe in that entirely. Some people, some other denominations don't, some of them do, I don't know. But I'm just saying, we are the ones that staunchly believe in that. But it's, to give a pinpoint a moment when I was all in on Jesus was, I was 18 years old. I was living a wild life. I mean, in the clubs, fighting and doing all kinds of horrible,
You were a
treacherous
hothead
things.
back in the day?
Huh?
You were a hothead back in the day?
Oh, dude, yeah, bad thing, man. The bad situation. Still have the same friends. I mean, as far as they're still my friends, but we've all calmed down now. But I started calming down from this point. When I was 18 or 19 years old, we were in a parking lot, and there was this car driving around the parking lot. We were all parking. Back then, I don't know what kids do now, but back then we would go and park we had certain streets that we would cruise, and then we would park somewhere and gather and talk and whatnot. And kids still do that?
No.
Yeah. I didn't think so. They're online or something now, right?
They're on TikTok.
Yeah, parking on Metaverse. So, no, we were parked outside of a parking lot, big parking lot. And this car is just driving around, trying to hit people. This car is like really acting wild. And I'm walking with my buddy across one of the streets there that was in this parking lot. And this car comes up, and right here, it just almost hits me, and it just stops right here beside me, and I'm going, whoa, man. And so, back then I'm a different human. So I'm like, man, what's your problem? We're going at it. And he's running his mouth, and he's saying some things and wants to fight. And so I said, you know what? Let me come around there. And so I started walking around to his side. And when I started walking around, he took off again. He took off driving. So now he's really on a mission to hit somebody. And as he's driving around, it's just really, everybody's frantic at this point because he's trying to hit cars. And I think the dude was methed out or something. But nonetheless, I took a shopping cart and I slung the thing and I hit right in the side of his car with a shopping cart. And when I did that, I was left out there in the middle of this parking lot, no poles, no vehicles, no nothing. And he made a circle, and I thought he was leaving, and I was just casually going back to the group, which was down the way, and they started yelling. And they was like, "Marty, look out!" And he had made a circle and gunned it and came right towards me and ended up running me over.
He
Hit me right here in my side, and I went up. He said, "Pow!" And I went up. I hit the glass, went up in the air, and I was coming down on my head. I was coming down with my head first, and as I'm coming down, literally, I'm going through my mind, and I'm thinking. And people say this all the time, but this actually happened with me. I was flipping through. It was as if I was in slow motion because I knew I was coming down on my head, and I was going, "Man, Lord, what have I done that's any good in my life, man?" And it's like I'm flipping through pages in my life and I can't find nothing.
Yeah.
I'm like, what have I done for your glory and not for my own? And I'm just doing that. And it's such a long conversation that happened like that. But like I said, it felt like slow motion. So then as I'm coming down, I ended up saying toward the end, I said, "Lord, if you'll save me one last time, I'll serve you. I promise you. I'll run after you." And I came down. The last minute, I hit my shoulder somehow. Can you imagine this big head not hitting the concrete before the shoulder? Somehow my shoulder, I came down and at the right time, my head was forward and my shoulder hit the ground almost like this, you know what I mean? And so my head never even touched the ground.
Wow.
And got up. I still have a massive hematoma right here. You know what a hematoma is?
No.
It's when you get hit and there's just this massive blood pocket or something.
wow.
And so it's like still right. It's not blood anymore, but it's just soft tissue now. But it still sits there. And I got up. I had a broken rib. I had several things that went wrong. I'm limping to get into my buddy's truck. He's going to take me to the hospital. And I said, "Just take me home, man. Just take me home."
You didn't want to go to the hospital?
I didn't because I didn't want my dad to find out because I was worried that my dad would get so mad that he would go after the guy and try to, kill him.
Wow. He was like that?
Well, with his kids, with his children, who wouldn't be, right? That's your son.
Right.
I have 2 daughters, so you don't have kids yet, do you?
Not yet.
So you don't know. Man, you'll do anything for your children, man. If somebody hurts your children, you'll do anything.
Yeah, if they hurt them intentionally, I'd imagine you'd be really pissed.
Big time. So I didn't want him to know. So I went in there. He ended up finding out anyway.
Oh, he found out who did it?
He found out. He didn't know who did it, but he found out that it happened as I was I was already there. And the cops, because like I said, he owned a towing service, so he knew all the cops.
Yeah.
Because we towed for him, and they ended up calling him and said, "Hey, we got a call about your son. He got ran over." And he's going, "What?" He goes, "Yeah, he got ran over in the parking lot." And he goes, "Marty, you talking about Marty?" He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "He's in the bathroom in here." And I was in there, licking my wounds is what I was doing. And he busted through the door. He goes, "Hey, what happened?" I said, "I fell out of a truck. Me and Tyler was messing around. I fell out of the truck." And he goes, "No, you didn't fall out of the truck." And he goes, "What happened?" And I ended up telling him. And sure enough, he got his gun. And he went looking for the guy, man.
Damn.
And thankfully, he didn't find him because who knows what charges could have been brought up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Could have been in prison for life.
Damn.
For some stupid moment in my life when I would have been the cause of that because I couldn't control my temper because I was a tough guy. When you're a boy back then, you think you want to be a tough guy. You think this is all I need. I just need to be able to hit people, and if I could just hit somebody and they can get knocked out immediately, that'd be great, man. I'd feel real tough. But then if you're honest with yourself, no matter how tough you get, there's always somebody tougher. There's always somebody that might have a knife. They might have a gun. So it don't really matter how tough you get. And then it was like Jesus said, the only way for you to really be tough is really on your knees, praying. That's really the only way, because you can't protect your kids better than I can. You can't protect your wife. You can't protect yourself better than me. So be a warrior on your knees, not with your fists. So that it all started changing right then. I would like to say it happened overnight, but it did not.
Wow.
I started getting into his word, and I started, going, I plugged into church. I said, I'm going I'm gonna go to church, man. I gotta be in there because I'm not able to live a good life without being constantly filled with a word from the Lord.
What a story, man. Holy crap.
Yeah, dude.
And you look at these tough guys, you know, some people call them bullies, and you look at their personal lives and they're dealing with a lot of stuff mentally usually, and they're taking it out on other people.
Big stuff, man. Did you see do you watch Theo Von?
Yeah, I watch his podcast.
Did you see when Sean
Strickland?
Strickland was on there?
Yeah.
Did you watch all that?
He was crying.
Golly, man, that broke my heart, dude. That broke my heart because I know where his answer is, but he is. I can tell that he is one of the ones. He's been hurt probably by church. He's been hurt by people in the church, and the answer, if he would truly go after Jesus, Jesus will heal that broken heart, man.
You think so?
I know he would. I've seen it happen. I've seen it happen so many times. It happened with me.
Wow.
It's happened, man. My own daughter, it's happened.
Really?
For real, man. There's no true healing other than the healing of the Lord. There just really is. I hate to sound so preachy on here. I didn't intend for that to be the case, but it just comes out because it's my life.
Yeah.
It's just my life, man.
I've noticed a lot of people, this is my first time in Nashville, but a lot of you guys are passionate about the Lord out here.
Oh, man, that's good to hear. I didn't know that. I'm not really from Nashville.
Oh, you're not?
I've only lived here for 5 years. I'm from Memphis. I was born in Memphis, raised in Arkansas across the bridge. You know, Memphis is divided by a river, the Mississippi River.
Yeah.
And right across the river is Arkansas, but it's still called West Memphis. Pretty weird.
So that's where you grew up?
Well, I was born in Memphis, Tennessee. I grew up a little further down the river, away from the river. It was a town called Blytheville, Arkansas.
Small town?
Very small. Actually, to be precise, Blytheville was the big town that I grew up in, not really in, but I grew up in a smaller town outside of that small big town.
Oh, wow.
There was about probably 20,000 people in Blytheville. I grew up and graduated from a school in Gosnell, Arkansas, which was about maybe 2,000 people.
Damn, that's it?
Yeah.
Super small.
It's really small.
There's pros and cons to that, I think.
There's more pros than cons. The cons are not having access.
Access, limited mindset. You think your whole life is in that area.
Oh, that's true, dude.
Yeah.
You nailed it right there.
But the pros are the community. The community is important, you know, having people you could trust.
And you know everybody, and everybody's your friend, and everybody's looking out for everybody. And it really is that way in the small towns. But you're right about I always told people I was actually taught in my school and by my family, no one really in my town was ever a dreamer where they thought, hey, you can dream outside your city limits.
Right.
You can go out. Still is a Nucor. It's called Nucor Steel, and it's a big steel mill, one of the biggest in the world, I think. And it's right in Blytheville. It's a big steel mill. People make great money there. They make $100,000 to $200,000 a year there. So that was what we were taught to go after, really. In the small town, that was the dream. That you're within your city limits. This is achievable.
Yeah.
Don't think of that you can achieve something greater than this, higher than this, because this is what you're meant for. You're here, right? And so my whole life, I never did really have a dream to be in music. I never thought that I could make a living doing music. I never thought that. I thought God gave me this gift. I've always been able to sing. I never really learned how. I just sing, and some people like it.
Wow. You never got lessons or anything?
Never got singing lessons.
Wow.
I probably don't even sing right. You know, to be honest with you, if you got a vocal teacher or something that watches your show, they'll probably hear me and go, yeah, he could have done better if he was breathing right there or singing. You know, it's probably the truth.
Yeah. I've seen those YouTube videos.
Yeah,
People would just rate those songs.
And I would hate for them to grab one of my videos because they would probably destroy it. You know what I mean? Because I don't know really how to sing. I just do it from the heart. And like I said, some people like it, some people don't.
I mean, from the first comment I made to you when you were singing, I felt it was spiritually comforting.
That's great.
You definitely sing from the heart.
Thank you for saying that, man. That means the world to me because that's the truth. It's the only way I know.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, too many people are robotic these days, and they use auto-tune and stuff, and it's like, dude, you don't even sound human at this point.
On my albums, I made it a point on all of my albums that I've released, my original albums, and even on my covers, whatever I do, whatever I release musically, there is not one stitch of auto-tune, no Melodyne, no nothing. So there might be a place where I get off pitch or something. It stays. I just keep it there.
Love it.
And then if people don't like it, then They don't like it. That's kind of how it goes. But it's a fight though when you have an engineer. They're sitting there. You sure? I mean, it could be right here. You could take this. It's supposed to be here. And I go, man, just leave it like it is. Or I'll go in there and say, let me just try to sing it until I get it right. Let me sing that line again. Sometimes we'll do that. And then, but now I got an engineer. He's so awesome. Jesse Poe, if anybody needs one, he's the guy here, man. And he just knows me. And he's very encouraging. And anyway, so yeah, that's the truth though. Pitch correction is huge. Everywhere now. You don't hear anything on the radio that doesn't have it.
No. If you could make a song with any artist, dead or alive, who would it be and why?
Dead or alive?
Yeah.
Man, of course, I just told a story about B.B. King. I thought after that day, I said, wow, we're going to do a song together at some point. It just seems like God has intended that to happen. But it never happened. He died shortly, not too long after that. So if I could do a song with somebody, that'd be really cool.
It's crazy that he played so late into his career.
I know. He played till he died, man.
Wow.
Yeah, I like to think that my album that he took rode on his bus for his whole life.
Yeah, I wonder if he ever played it.
I don't know. I don't really know. I know that the only guy that I know played it, that I really know, is Charlie Daniels. You know who that is?
No.
You don't know who Charlie Daniels is?
No.
Do any of you guys know who Charlie Daniels is?
We're
Wow.
so young. We're so young.
You know him, right? Oh,
Okay,
thank
Charlie's
God.
35, so.
Thank God. Well, see, you ever heard the song "Devil Went Down to Georgia"?
If you played it, maybe.
Devil went down to Georgia. He was looking for a soul to steal. He was in a bind because he was running behind. He was willing to make a deal. When he came across this young man sawing on a fiddle and playing it hot, the devil jumped up on a hickory stump and said, boy, let me tell you what. I guess you didn't know it, but I'm a fiddle player too. And if you care to take a dare, I'll make a bet with you. And you play pretty good fiddle, boy, but give the devil his due. I bet a fiddle of gold against your soul to think I'm better than you. He goes, it's a story, right? It's a boy named Johnny and goes, Johnny, you're rousing up your bow and play your fiddle hard, 'cause hell's broke loose in Georgia and the devil deals the cards. And if you win, you get this shiny fiddle made of gold. But if you lose, the devil gets your soul. It's a jamming song, dude.
Wow.
Y'all got to look this song up, man.
Yeah, I might have to.
You have to. Don't hate the mic. You have to. Sean, say I will.
I will.
Thank you so much for saying that. Yeah, you guys back here too, right? Y'all going to look it up?
Okay.
Oh, you've heard it? Oh, sweet, sweet. Wow. So I saw him live too.
Okay.
That was during that same era of time. I handed him the album. I took a picture with him. He goes, thank you, son. And then it was I don't know, it was a while later, but I got a tweet. I still have the tweet to this day. The tweet is still on his Twitter.
Yeah.
And he tweeted me out. He said, at Marty Ray Project, listen to your album. It rocks. And I go, wow, dude, screenshot, shared that everywhere. I still share it every now and then today, because that was another moment where I was down in the pits, and then this king said, love your music, it's rocks. And so I just started going back up like that again.
Love it.
Yeah.
We'll end off with a fun question here. What is the best era of music, in your opinion?
The best era of music? Well, that's tough. What's your answer? I just want to know.
I would say 90s.
That's a good answer, dude. That's a real good answer. That's the era I really grew up in, was the 90s. So it's tough. But I really, just like we were talking about earlier before you started recording, 70s era in the 80s. But the 70s was, Al Green and people like that. So, but I think I got to go with 90s just to end it good.
Okay.
Yeah. Who's your favorite artist from the 90s?
That's tough. Is Michael Jackson 90s or is he 2000s?
Michael Jackson's a long span. So you can say, yeah. Because Michael Jackson, 80s, 90s.
That was early.
Michael Jackson was back in the 50s, I believe.
Damn, what?
Yeah, Jackson 5.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, he was a little boy.
Yeah, I'm trying to think who else is big in the 90s. Who's yours?
Well, I grew up listening to Boys to Men. You listen to them?
No.
God, son of a gun. Please tell me y'all know Boys to Men. I'm not going to say any Boys to Men. But son, hey, y'all got to get him some real 90s music.
All right.
Yeah, I'm going to send you a playlist.
Okay.
I'm going to, for real. I want you. Will you listen to it if I send it?
I will.
Or will you do like you did a while ago and not answer me?
No, I was filming.
I'm joking. People, he was filming. That was just a joke. If y'all even keep that.
Well, dude, it's been a blast. We'll link your YouTube below. Where can people find you?
I am at Marty Ray Project wherever social media is, and then I have original albums that are able to be streamed anywhere. And I just bought this beard oil company. Can you believe I own a beard company?
Oh, yeah, you do?
Yeah, Beardalizer. Beardalizer.com. So if anybody's got a beard or if you want a beard, it looks like you could grow a nice one there if you'd let it go.
Maybe if I let it go, yeah.
Yeah, you should.
You think so?
I think you should become a man today.
Damn.
Yeah.
All right. Shots fired. We'll link it.
You sounded scared when you said that, actually.
Not everyone can pull them off, man.
That's true.
Asians don't have the best beards, in my opinion.
That is, well, sometimes. The samurais,
Samurais can pull off the goatee.
they had some pretty nice beard styles.
Yeah.
But yeah, full beard like this, I don't know if there's ever been an Asian one.
I can't think of any, man. We get a mustache, and that's about it.
When you gonna let that come out?
Never.
Hey, get out.
Nah, dude, I'm good.
You know how good you'd be on the court?
I'm already good on the court.
That's true.
Yeah.
Well, you got me there.
There we go, man. Thanks for coming on.
God bless you, brother. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thanks for watching, guys, as always. Check them out below. See you next time.